Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give our praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. To the elect, I say Shalom. All the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and in truth. This is brother to mine from James, Toronto, coming at you with another video. So, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, the 29th chapter. And as I do my early morning stroll, I always make my way here. I don't know if you can hear the fall in the background, but it's very calming. And once you're walking, a lot of thoughts go through your mind. And as I sit here, I started reading, the scripture covers every basis of life, right? Every facet of life that any man can live. The scripture can literally can guide you to anything that you're going through, right? So right now I'm going to read a scripture, these verses about lending money, right? And how often do we lend money to family, to friends, right? And then sometimes you get it back, sometimes you don't, right? This is the reason why some people bring in usury, right? But you're not supposed to use usury when pertaining to your brothers, right? But this is the reason why some people do it, because the scripture is going to go into what some people can do when you lend them money, right? Because there's nothing wrong lending your friend or family money, but you're supposed to pay them back, right? So let's start at verse 1. Sirach 29:1. He that is merciful will lend unto his neighbor, and he that strengtheneth his hand keepeth the commandments. Lend to thy neighbor in time of his need, and pay thou neighbor again in due season. Keep thy word and deal faithfully with him, and thou shalt always find a thing that is necessary for thee. Many have a thing, many, when a thing was lent to them, reckoned it to be found, and put them to trouble that helped them, right? So we have, especially Israelites, man. You lend a nigga money, or you lend a person that you think you can trust money, and then after that, he find it a hard time to give you your money back. You have to be running behind him, chasing him down, right? And they can literally bring trouble to you. They can even want to kill you for your own money, right? That's just the extreme that it can like lending a person money. You can literally go there, right? It says here, till he hath received, he will kiss a man's hand. So like you might find a Jake, your friend or whatever, because like this guy doesn't want to lend money, right? So he might even he might kiss your ass, he might butter you up or whatever, speak sweetly and softly to you, and then just to get your money, just to get you to lend him the money, okay? And his neighbor's money, he will speak submissively, right? So he pretty much lower your guard. But when he should repay, he will prolong the time and return words of grief and complain of the time, right? And everyone has dealt with a person like this in their lifetime, right? Who bring up all manner of excuses, talk all manner of shit, right? Just to not give you your money back, right? Sometimes he'll even have the money, but he just doesn't want to pay you the money back, right? If he prevail, he shall hardly receive the half, and he will count as if he had found it. If not, he had deprived him of his money, and he hath gotten him an enemy without cause. Exactly. A lot of men have made good friends their enemy due to the fact that this is part of their agenda. This is what's on their heart, right? That's what you call a dishonest person, right? Dishonesty is amongst Jake. That's a lot of cause of death in the hood. It's over a situation like this. He had paid him with cursings and railings, and for honor he will pay him disgrace. Many therefore have refused to lend for other men's ill doings. So now that man who had been wrong, guess what he's gonna do? He's never gonna lend again. He's never gonna trust another person with money again, right? Or to pay him back again. So what people usually do, my grandmother used to always tell me this: if you're gonna lend anyone money, do it in front of people, right? Do it in front of witnesses. So like if anything were to happen and you were to go for your money, you have witnesses to back you up and say, oh yeah, I was there when he or she came and asked for the money, right? So if that person decides to act up, then you'll have witnesses to prove that this person owes you money, right? Many therefore have refused to lend for other men's ill doings, fearing to be defrauded. Yet have thou patience with a man in poor estate, and delay not to show him mercy. Help the poor for the commandments' sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Lose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost. Right? So always go and get your stuff. Always go and get your money, because sometimes you forget, and then sometimes that person forget, or sometimes you just want to test that person to see if they're going to give you your money back, right? And then they'll be like, oh, I've never received any money from you, right? This is Jake though, right? Jake is literally like this. Shut up arms in thy storehouse, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction, right? It shall fight for thee against thine enemies, better than a mighty shield and a strong spear. An honest man is surety for his neighbor, but he that is impudent will forsake him. So this is going into friendship, right? This is how you deal with your neighbor. So I can literally go down and read all of this, right? But let me get Sirach, I think 25 or 26, when it talks about a good friend. Right? It's not there. I think there's also one here. It says here, Sirach 6:16, a faithful friend is a medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. And that's a beautiful thing to always find, right? Or maybe it's just, let me see Sirach 6. Let me get Sirach 6 and see if it goes into that. Sirach, the 6th chapter. I remember you know what, hold on. Sirach 20. Sirach 25. Let me see if it's this 25 and 26. 25 and 25. Actually, it's 26. Actually, hold on. Sirach 26. Bear with me. If not, I'll just find scriptures on friends. But good wife, silent wife. I guess I can't find it. Good friend. Okay, let me see. Verses on friendship. Is it just that? Oh, okay. Sirach 6 and 5. All the way to 17, I guess. So I think I have found it. And I skipped past it. Salakia. 6 and 5. Yeah, I think I found it. Yeah, I had passed over it. It says here 6 and 5, Sirach 6 and 5. Sweet language will multiply friends, and the fear speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. Be in peace with many, nevertheless, have but one counsel of 1,000. Yeah, so this was the scripture I was looking for. Right? Be in peace with many, nevertheless be one, so like I have but one counselor of 1,000. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. So this also goes into loaning, right? Because you don't loan strangers, right? You loan a friend, you loan money to a friend, right? You don't just anyone that comes up to you and asks you to loan your money, just give it to them. No. And this also comes with you proving a friendship, right? Whether it be in the truth or whether it be in the world, so to speak. Because most majority of us Israelites, we deal with other Israelites, right? And we have a lot of friends in the world. We have people that we knew before this truth, right? And this goes into all facets of life, you know. You have to. That person has to prove their loyalty for you in order for you to give out your goods, right? Because once you loan a person your goods, you wanna get your goods back, right? And is that person trustworthy enough for you to give your goods back, so you can be like, okay, I can get my money back if I loan this person my money, right? Since he's in time of need, you know, I'm your friend, I'm gonna help you out, and vice versa, right? And it says, "Yeah, be not hasty to credit him." Verse 8: For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble, right? We have some bitch ass niggas in the world, man. You know, you have people in the world that will be like, they're only your friend when you're up, so to speak. There's a song by Tyrone Taylor. For those of you who are familiar with old school reggae music, Tyrone Taylor had a song called "Nobody Wants You When You're Down," right? Nobody wants you when there's no money around. I'll get the lyrics after I'm done here. So it says here, because there are people like that who's around you just because you can provide for them, you know. And then when your goods are gone, they're gone. Like Big L says, as soon as your dough go, your hoe go. Now you're solo, right? It says here, and there was a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach, right? So sometimes you need to go through things so you can know who your true friends are. You need to be broke sometimes and be down and out for you to know who your friends are, right? Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction, right? But in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. So in other words, when you're up, he will act as if he's the most loyal friend out of all your friends, right? Because he wants you to lower your guard, so that you can pretty much choose him over everyone else when it comes to you being generous, right? Like guys like Floyd Mayweather, they have a lot of friends around them, but people will literally fester up to Floyd so that they can be his number one, right? His number one friend. So any perks, he will get them, right? It's like being an ant, and any crumb from the table, you're the first one to get the crumb from the table, right? If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. So your friends have to be tested, just like a woman have to be tested in order for her to prove her loyalty to you, right? A friendship, both of you have to be battle tested, right? Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense, just like money. And he that hath found such an one, hath found a treasure, right? And that's a beautiful thing. Once you have found that true friend, you have found a treasure. That's a blood brother, just like how David and King David and Jonathan, they were blood brothers, right? That was a true friend, right? Just like how the elect are friends with Yahushai, right? Because Yahushai died for his friends. That's the friend that you want, a friend that will die for you. Salakia, give me 2 seconds. Um,
So he had a dog like growing up with his
yes, verse 15. Nothing do it. Where am I? Nothing do it. Conk, Old English. Conquerville, a faithful friend, and his excellence is unavailable. A faithful friend is the medicine of thy life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. For whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. Right? So now it goes into wisdom. So that's scriptures on situation that can happen if you loan a person money, right? And also, I also dug into a friendship, right? And how it should be tested, and your friends should be tested in order for you to know who to trust, right? It's like our brotherhood that we have amongst the camp, you know. For the most part, some brothers are closer to some brothers, right? And some brothers feel like, let's say I'm down or whatever, because when I just came into this truth, let's say I'm broke or whatever, I was so afraid, you know to ask the brothers for help. And one of the elders of the camp, he had to tell me, look, if you're down, you're down, you know don't be afraid to ask, right? So I had to deal with that, right? I had to because I was looking at it like, how am I gonna ask you for money, or ask the camp for money, if I'm not tested as yet. But that was a test, right? The test is me asking for money, and if am I gonna pay the money back, right? That's the test, So all these things, even as a newborn in this truth, you're always skeptical of certain things, right? Because you don't want people to look at you a certain way also, So I've learned a lot from these scriptures, and the scriptures covered all facets of life, you know. So I'll leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, the honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect and all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom.